Welcome down, everyone, to another episode of Those Nerds You Know. My name is Ethan.
I'm Eddie.
And we are Those Nerds You Know.
Hello again. We're a podcast, if you don't remember. We do things like talk about nerdy stuff and discuss what we're going to be doing in the next week, like going to a PAX convention.
Absolutely.
But we talk about nerdy things like comics and games and movies and TV shows. Mostly dealing with Marvel because they're the best, but that's just my opinion. But yeah, that's us.
Excellent. Hi. And we've been away for a bit. We did have something come out, we released an episode last week. We recorded that before our break, so it's been a bit since we've been behind the mic. But we're happy to be
Christmas
back.
And stuff.
Yes, because Christmas and holidays and all of that. Yeah, a lot of stuff.
We are past that that beautiful snowy time of New Year's and Christmas times.
Or just wet, cold time.
Yeah.
Depending on where you are.
Southern people. Well, or you're more westward, but...
Indeed. But yes, we're happy to be back, and we're coming to you today with our year-in review of 2018. What we liked, and maybe a little bit of what we didn't like.
Probably.
Most likely. We're
very opinionated in here.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember what we did last year. I think at some point we did a thing, but I think in June when we did our year and a celebration anniversary thing, we did one where we just ranked everything that we've already talked about.
Yeah, the ones that we've already podcasted.
Yeah, and I'm trying to remember what we did for last year's 2018.
I don't think
if we did anything.
Yeah,
you weren't there.
Yeah.
That was still me and David. So
and I think you were still new, super new, so you didn't really have a theme.
Anyways, but regardless of that and what we've done prior, what we're doing this time is we've got four categories of entertainment that we enjoyed this year. That would be movies, anime, video games, and TV or streaming things. And we're just going to give each of our top three in those categories, maybe chat a bit about it, see where our discrepancies lie, and why our ranks don't match up usually.
I tried to go for the non-obvious things, because you're probably going to go for the obvious things.
Look here. And some of the things, I'll go for obvious things. This will be a good exercise for our listeners to get to know us. I don't know. I just finished. I haven't finished it yet. I just started it up.
Are you getting burned out on the Voltron, Ethan?
No, I just don't know if it's worthy of saying it's in my top three this year.
Wow.
This, compared to other TV that came out this year, or unless that's going to be in our anime section. If it's in our anime section, sure. But I guess I was.
It's not gonna be mine.
Yeah. Okay. I guess I was assuming that would be in our streaming section.
Yeah.
But it could be anime.
Speaking of which, I did finish season 1, sir. So.
Oh, marvelous.
Yeah, it's all right.
How'd you like it? It's all right.
It's all right. I mean, I started the second season already, so.
Cool.
At least I'm continuing.
Proud
as
of you.
opposed to not.
Cool.
More on that later, I suppose.
Yeah. Let me see. What should we start with, Eddie?
Well, currently I have my list is movies, TV, anime, and then games.
All right, let's do that.
All right, fine. Let's do movies first.
Let's get the big one out of the way.
Yeah. Sure, we could go 3-1, maybe.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Okay.
Your three or my three?
Oh, we could alternate, I think.
Okay.
We are prepped. We are prepared.
That's what I mean. Yeah.
Do not judge us.
This is how we plan our podcast
we plan on the podcast while currently recording. Okay.
Let's start with your number 3, and then we'll go to my number 3.
All right. My number 3 is gonna be Halloween.
Okay.
Because I really liked it. It's very, very rare for me to like a horror movie so much.
Right.
That it surprised me beyond all expectations. I mean, it wasn't amazing, of course, but it was definitely more than just nostalgia, and I really liked that. So they did really well with Halloween and getting the returning actors and stuff, and I really want to see a trend of this happening. So very impactful for the horror industry, I think.
Good. Yeah, I from what I recall of you and Scott and Kaylee reviewing it at me, it sounded really cool for people who were fans of the original.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And yeah, it sounded much more like what people have really wanted since the first one.
Yeah, absolutely. Or for any franchise that has come out and have been redone multiple times.
Yeah, yeah. And I can say like, I do agree that I hope that becomes the trend.
Yeah.
And because we've been in remake mode for years now, and some of it's okay and most of it's bad.
Yeah.
So
and it's not something we need. Like people, like they may think that we want like, you know, remakes of stuff, but it's definitely like you just need to go back to the old stuff and make it, you know, current. And I guess Hollywood's like, hey, that means remake, but no, not really. It doesn't.
Yeah.
On the other hand, I would have put Spider-Man into the Spider-Verse in my number 3, but my other 2 are Marvel movies, so
yeah, no, I feel you.
I didn't want to do
like
all 3 Marvel movies.
My initial top 3 were Marvel movies, and then I was like, maybe I should look and see what else there is. And since now that I have, like, I've got different. I might still have 2 Marvel movies, but
no, I do too. I was like, I like made the sacrifice of Spider-Man into the Spider-Verse.
Yeah.
The other 2 are definitely Marvel. So they're probably the same ones you have.
Spoilers. So,
what's your number 3, Ethan?
My number 3 is Incredibles 2.
Yeah.
I just looking through like lists of movies, and I was like, man, I really liked that film, and I saw it twice. Voluntarily, which for me is a good mark of a film now. Like if I see something once and I'm like, that was good, and I don't go back and see it, then it may have been good, but it wasn't enough to get me really excited about it. Usually if I like a film a lot, I will see it at least twice in theaters. And that was the case for this one.
That's a lot of time to spend.
Yeah.
You could be doing other things.
It definitely is. It is an investment of time, especially for me, where I have very little time. So, yeah, and it was really cool. Granted, the themes weren't like super terribly different from the first one, but it was good to see the characters again. I felt like it's genuinely funny, and I loved watching Elastigirl do her thing. I enjoyed picking the little twist and being like, oh, that's probably what it is, and then having it be right. I was like, and then like that's cool, that's fun. I love the world they're in, this like 50s alternate superpower America. I just find so fascinating and cool. The aesthetic is just real nice, but the animation looks great. Some of the sequences in it are just super cool. I think I saw it a second time just to see the Elastabike scene again.
Yeah.
It's so cool. Oh.
2 minutes that it was in the movie.
Yes. Look,
they should have kept that around. Like maybe
they
she'll
really
get like a replica in like Incredibles 3 or something. That was a really good idea. That was like one of the best utilizations of tech I've seen for a superhero movie.
Absolutely. It was super fun. So enjoyed that quite a lot. Yeah. Oh, and the baby, Jack with the raccoon. So funny.
Very good.
Oh, just, yes. So I love that film. It hits my number 3. And yeah, that's where I'm at with it. Mm-hmm. Number 2.
Black Panther. So I like this movie a lot more than I thought I did, because this is one of the only Marvel movies I've seen 3 times, and I plan to see it a 4th time because I have to show someone more movies before they see Infinity War.
Before we get further, that's also my number 2, so we're united on that front.
See, I knew this was going to happen.
My number 1's not going to be your number 1, though, so it's fine.
Probably not. Honestly,
it won't be. I promise you it won't.
Oh, it must be Spider-Verse then.
Yeah. So,
Yeah, okay.
anyways, yeah. But I really liked Black Panther, and for me, it's cool. It was I think it was the first film I saw after moving here to Los Angeles.
Yeah.
But yeah, really cool. I loved the setting.
Yeah.
I loved
it's beautiful. Like
it is.
and for being like one of the biggest people of color movies ever. It was wonderful. Like the acting was great. Everyone did a great job inside of it. And while I don't agree with some of the characters' actions, that's not on the actors, of course.
Yeah.
But I really, really like most of the characters that were in it. Like they were just so great.
Yes.
And I can't wait to see more of them.
Yeah, I agree. I like a lot of the casting. I loved. Is it Umbaku? Is that the name of the like rival tribe?
Yeah. M'Baku.
He's great. His character. So good.
I hope he has a bigger part in the next one too.
He's so funny. Yeah, he's still alive, so I hope he does. People have talked about like it would be really cool to see him just like take up the Black Panther mantle.
Yes.
Well,
it's gonna be such a big Black Panther. Yes. It's gonna be so nice. Just like outsizing T'Challa so much.
Yes.
And stuff.
So cool. Yeah, it's great. It's impactful. It's very so much emotion in it. And again, like a lot of the characters' decisions aren't great, and there are some things that can be solved by like saying like a sentence. Like there's this yep, like T'Challa could just be like, "Hey, this is the guy that broke Claw out. Like he's the reason we don't have Claw," and they could be like, "Oh, really? Yeah, like for really real." Just like what? There's also some K-pop in it, so hey, we're good.
That's anything with K-pop in it, Ethan is okay with.
Heck yeah,
So
approval, big stamp.
automatically ups it like 3 points in the rating system.
Got it.
But the CG rhinos could have been a bit better.
Oh
also
gosh,
with,
yes.
Marvel's billions of dollars with Disney behind them.
Yeah, absolutely.
But in all, it was very enjoyable. I very much enjoyed it, and I really like T'Challa, the actor for that.
Yeah, I never remember that guy's name either. But you got it. I believe in you.
Yeah. His name is Chadwick Boseman.
Chadwick, that's right.
Because I looked it up just as I was trying to think of it. And Wakanda is such a great place.
It is.
And it's so nice.
It's impressive to me that this is yet another, like, pretty, in some aspects, fairly run-of-the-mill solo, almost origin Marvel film. Mm-hmm. But it still has such high acclaim and did so well. It makes me want to see it again. You know what I mean? Like, I would easily see this. I would see this before I saw, the reason the Avengers isn't in my top 3 is because I would see this before I saw the Avengers again. Like if I had the opportunity to go see either, I'd probably go see Black Panther again.
Yeah.
Because I loved Avengers 4. Obviously, so many other people did, but it's
my top one. So.
Yeah, it's exactly what I expected. The best part of it is Thor. But yes, this is a fact that Black Panther is that way. At the end he fights a guy with his powers. Like it's just that's very standard Marvel origin story stuff. But like it was still so fun, and yeah. And it brings a real big game change to the Marvel universe, and the fact that Wakanda is now open, and they're like, hey, we exist, we're not hiding from the world anymore. It just offers so many other things that can be done in that universe now because of it. So I was very well pleased with it all.
Mm-hmm. Agreed. It's very good.
Yarp yarp. Okay, moving on to number 1.
Yeah, sure, why not?
Your number one
is Infinity War.
There we go.
Oh my god! Because it was really good. Ties everything together.
Yes.
They didn't pander to the oh, I don't know what's happening. Blah, blah,
Yeah,
blah,
absolutely. Like, you
crowd.
do have to actually know what's going on.
Yeah, and that's great because it's not as jarring if you didn't see previous stuff because it can be like explained through. It's explained a bit through the movie, regardless, like with their associations and stuff.
Absolutely.
But it's it didn't pander to that crowd, which is very. I bet I can assume that's a very difficult decision to do whenever you're writing that, and with the big execs above saying you need to explain this better and it needs to make sense. And you know the villain wins, so spoilers.
Yeah, right. But, spoilers for all of this, by the way.
and the first part, which obviously there's going to be 2 parts, and I knew that going into it. And I knew that it was going to probably end on a cliffhanger like that. That Thanos basically wins and eradicates half of the life of life beings of all shapes and sizes, maybe, depending on the rule set that you use for the.
I think because they kind of kept me guessing because I also knew that there was going to be a part 2, and so when the movie started, I was assuming, okay, Thanos is going to win, he's going to do his thing, and then we'll have to deal with the aftermath next movie, which is, in fact, how it goes. But there was a point near the end where I was like, are they actually going to kill him?
Yeah,
is Thor going to do this? Is he going to wrap this up? What?
Like when he gets stabbed.
Yes, I was like, wait a second.
By the axe. Stormbringer, whatever his name is.
Stormbreaker.
Who cares? Whatever.
So
big Odin weapon.
Oh, the moment when he gets on Earth, when Thor gets to Earth, he jumps up in the air. He's like, "Bring me Thanos!"
I need to see that again too, but I'll watch it with my friend that I'm showing the movies to.
So good.
Because we still have to watch Black Panther.
Absolutely. Who is this friend of yours that hasn't watched these things?
It's just a
Ant-Man is good.
Yeah, and now that has such a big part in Endgame, it's like
yes.
Now we got to watch both.
Yeah,
of those.
Absolutely, you do. You should have in the first place because they're great.
No, yeah, absolutely. I really loved Ant-Man, and I underestimated it so hard, and it would probably be like my number 4, at least the Ant-Man and the Wasp, if we went to top 5.
Right.
Yeah, it was just incredible. It was an incredible movie.
It's great. I remember when I first saw it. This is another one that I saw twice, if not 3 times in theaters.
You don't remember?
I know I saw it at least twice. Look, a lot of these I'll see on my own first. I'll see them the Thursday that they are available to come out. I'll just go get a movie and just watch it. I'll just go get a ticket and watch it myself in a crowd of people I don't know. And then usually that weekend, some groups of friends of mine will be like, "Hey, you want to go see this thing?" Or I'll be like, "Hey, you should all see this thing," and then we'll all go see it together on a Friday or Saturday. So that's typically how that happens. Anyways, when I first watched this, I was just when it's fresh, every time a scene changes, you just get pumped. For every when the Guardians were first introduced. Yeah, there is. It's very, very quick. And every time you go to some new place, there's it's that person I know from that movie, because we all apparently love to do that. It's is there? I know that thing. It's that. For the first hour, it's that, and it's great. And I loved. I don't know why this is one of my top moments in the film, but I loved seeing the Red Hood Red Skull. Sorry,
yeah. The Red Skull.
Seeing Red Skull again was like, oh, what?
See, when I saw that, I was like, hey, is that guy from the first Captain America? And I didn't realize it for a little while. I was like, oh yeah, he was vanished into the
yes, he touched the cube and he just disappeared. And we were like, well. But yeah, yes, like you said earlier, it ties things together incredibly well. I'm so excited.
Super pumped for Endgame.
Oh,
it's gonna be really good if they do it right. But and I think the best part about this is that the comic that is based like the Infinity War comic, it ends where the first movie ends. So part 2 is going to be completely unknown, to even the comic book readers.
Interesting.
At least that's
cool.
what I've been like picking up, because I know the last part of the Infinity War comic, and it's like the Scarecrow thing
Gotcha.
with Thanos like ending his reign on the farmlands or whatever he does.
Gotcha.
But after that, it's like, who knows what's gonna happen? It's really cool.
That's gonna be fun. I'm excited for it. This movie was very good. It is worthy of your number one slot.
Yes. And as yours is of the Spider-Mans.
So my number one is Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, because I could not be more excited about a movie in 2018, I don't think. Like, I was very pumped for Avengers, but like when I heard that this Spider-Man thing was happening, and when I saw the first trailer, I was like, this is my shit. I'm so ready for this. I love Spider-Man. Spider-Man's my favorite Marvel character. I was super pumped whenever he was allowed into the MCU. I was super pumped when I saw this happening. I've read the Spider-Verse comic. I really like the Spider-Verse comic. I knew that that's not what they were going to do, but I was very happy that they were adopting that premise of multiple Spider-Verses, multiple universes within Marvel. And I hope that they start incorporating that in other Marvel films. This particularly is a Sony film that's licensed to Spider. They have licensed Spider-Man and Spider-Man stuff, so they are making this apart from that. But it's still great. The animation is awesome, and it also does the thing that Avengers did for me, where I can watch it and in like a whole lot of scenes, I'm like, oh my gosh, I know that. I know what that is. Holy crap, did you see that? It's great. It's super fun. I love that it's Miles Morales. So we have a different Spider-Man up front, one that I think he represents more diversity in the Marvel universe, which is great. But also I think he just connects better with today's kids than Peter Parker does. And we've got an older Peter Parker, which I'm also very happy to see, because we haven't seen that in any of the films either. The oldest Peter Parker we got was like in college with Tobey Maguire. And yeah, that one... the third one of that falls off so hard. It's just boo. But yeah, as someone who has watched every Spider-Man movie that has come out, and who knows a lot about him and loves him, this film could not have been more on point for me. Also, we got Spider-Gwen,
which is what you've been waiting for.
Love. I was so happy to see her get her like her movie debut. She's had an animation debut in the Marvel Rising, I think is what it's called, animated series that I think they put out through YouTube, or at least they're available on YouTube. She was in that, which I've seen a few scenes of, and she's really cool in that too. But like I was just so happy that she's getting this attention, and faster than most other new characters, because Miles Morales has been around in the comics for a while now. I think since early 2000s, and this is his first real like shot into the spotlight. So, and I just think it's important that people know that he exists, that we have this half black, half Hispanic kid in New York who is a superhero and has Spider-Man powers and is Spider-Man. He's not a clone of him. He's not a boy Spider-Man. He's not a sidekick. He is Spider-Man. And it was it was so cool to see.
It's very good. And it helped connect to the older, more nostalgic Spider-Man fans as well, to remind you that there is another Spider-Man, or there are more Spider-Men.
Yes.
And Miles Morales is like the new center point
absolutely
of the series, which is fine. And I love Miles as well. And I really want to see more of it. And I think the game kind of goes into that as well. I haven't played the game, and I know you're about to play the game, so sorry if that spoils anything. But he's
no that's fine. I expected a lot of things in there. This, from what I understand, is like the most comprehensive Spider-Man game, or probably bit of Spider-Man, like one singular contained Spider-Man thing. So I'm excited to play more of it.
Have you played more of that, by the way?
No, I've only played the initial. So like the opening hour is more or less a tutorial, but it's like you're playing through a scenario. So you're playing through Kingpin's building, working your way up until you get to him, and then you beat him. And then it's like, now you know how to play. Congrats.
Do you think?
It's really cool. Swinging is really fun.
Yeah, I've heard that's a really big
Yeah. It was
point of the...
hard to get a hold of at first, but it is, once you get into a groove, it's really cool. Anyways, The Spider-Verse was a fantastic film that every freaking body should see. It hasn't done as well as it probably deserves to do, because I don't think it was marketed super well, but it is fantastic. I
still think people need to see it, even if you're like not a fan of like animation stuff. It's a completely new like genre.
Yes.
And it's something that should be experienced by everyone.
Yes. If you like superheroes at all, or if you like any of the Marvel films, go see this film. It's so good. Ugh.
And I think that's another point. Like people are like, oh, it's animated. It's a great movie.
It is, and the casting's on point. Super freaking good. My favorite casting in this movie was Nick Cage as Spider-Man Noir. Yeah. So funny.
No, he was definitely a good choice for that. Probably the best, honestly.
Yes.
Because he's got such a droll voice in anything he does, and it's so good. It's great. I love him. I love Nicolas Cage so much.
Yes.
Ever since I saw National Treasure, I'm like, I love this man so much. He is the national treasure. The movie's not about the Declaration of Independence.
It's about Nick Cage.
It's about Nicolas Cage.
I'm trying to remember if I saw that first or if I saw Ghost Rider first.
Probably Ghost Rider. It's a bit older, I believe.
Is it? I don't remember. But yeah, like those are the two, like in my mind, the two like quintessential Nick Cage roles. Though he's had plenty of others and probably won awards for other ones. Those are the two that I'm like, yeah, that's Nick Cage. Stealing the Declaration of Independence, sending people to hell. That's what he does.
Oh, just kidding. National Treasure is older by 3 years.
That's what I thought, yeah.
Fact checking. That's what I learned.
Fact check. Got it. Don't at us.
Don't at me.
Yes.
Combat me.
Anyway, we have 4 reviews on like everything we've just mentioned. So go check those out if you want more of our opinions on them. But yeah, I think this is a solid list for both of us.
Absolutely.
Any honorable mentions for these?
Probably.
You said Ant-Man and the Wasp.
Yeah, Ant-Man and Wasp was definitely like I feel the second one was like even better than the first one.
Yeah, I think I'd agree with that.
Of the Wasp lady.
Two honorable mentions for me: Ralph Breaks the Internet and Simple Favor. If you haven't seen that,
I haven't seen that one.
Crazy. You should probably see it. I recommend it. Anyway, but yeah, those are that's me. That's it.
Venom would probably be another recommendation.
That's true. Would you see? Really so would you see? If you've given the choice between seeing Venom or Aquaman again, which would you see first again?
Oh, they're pretty equal.
That's where I'm at. Like with both of them, they both like mind-bogglingly made almost $1 billion each, and I'm just like, how?
I'd probably see Venom over Aquaman.
I think I would too, but like
just because it was more fun.
Yeah,
and Aquaman was super cheesy.
Both of them seem very like middle of the road to me.
Yeah, they were both on par with each other.
Yes,
I think
and so it's crazy to me that they both made as much money as they have.
Yeah. You know, Deadpool 2 is pretty good too. I think that came out this year.
It did come out this year. That one was also good.
Jeez, stop Marvel. Come on. And DC. Well, DC needs to continue, but Marvel can slow down a little bit. Whatever.
Well, Marvel's about to have so many properties once the Fox deal goes through.
Oh my god.
So I don't think they're going to slow down. I think they'll likely speed up.
They're just going to charge forward.
Yeah, we'll see. What's our next category, Eddy?
Television, probably. Yeah, TV.
All right. Well, that sounds good to me. Let me see about getting that list open. This is going to be filled with a lot more things I haven't seen. I think the movie list was the thing I've seen the most of. So the rest of this episode is going to be me like, this one? Oh. I have I definitely know what my number one is.
Oh yeah. Well, you don't have two others. It's television, Netflix. What
I
is Netflix?
I just
show
don't
this
know
year?
how to order my other thoughts. And again, I'm gonna put Castlevania and Voltron in my anime section, since I don't watch as much actual anime and I consider them anime. So I'll do that for them. And okay, I think I know what I'm doing. Yeah.
You think so? Huh?
I'm good. I got this.
Okay.
I got
All right.
this. We're
Awesome.
cool.
Well, I'll start us then. Number 3 for
Please.
me is Daredevil. Woo!
Oh,
Number
Daredevil.
3, Daredevil. I like Daredevil. I don't think I like it as much as you do.
Spoiler alert! It's
But-
on my list.
Yeah, it's probably number 1, honestly.
Look
And
here,
it's
Eddie. Don't go spoiling my list and judging me.
No, I just know you. We're on the wavelength. You know.
Oh,
We
yes.
got that going. But anyway, I really liked it, but I liked other things more because Netflix has been really pumping out really nice stuff lately.
Yeah, I agree. I think the only Marvel Netflix thing I'll allow you to put above that is maybe Jessica Jones if that came out this year, because I know you like her. But
Season 2 is alright. Like I didn't.
that's what I hear though. I hear it was
okay.
not as good as one.
Yeah, no, it's definitely not as good as one because of Doctor Who guy. I don't remember his name.
Oh gosh, now you've made me forget it, because I can only
Aha!
think of him as Doctor Who. If you had not, I would have known his name. David Tennant.
Yeah,
Got it.
That's him.
Yes.
Yeah, you
I was like, not Matt Smith, not Matt Smith, not Matt Smith. Oh, David Tennant.
Because he played Kilgrave.
Yes, the
in,
Purple Man.
Yeah, the Purple Man. He was really good. Like he was probably, well, I wouldn't say better than Jessica, but he was definitely he made that.
I would
season
say it. He
what
was
is.
better than Jessica.
Yeah, that's fine. You haven't seen it, so you don't know.
I've seen the first 3 episodes, so I've seen him
That's more than I
interact
thought
with
you did.
people.
All right, fine. He's better than Jessica, but he made that series, and he made Jessica a likable heroine,
Yeah.
if you want to call her that.
I watch one
Anti-hero.
episode of the first season every like 6 months or so, and I'm like, yeah, this is too sad. It's about as much sad as I can take.
Oh my lord! Yeah. Well, that would be on my top list if that was current.
You know,
year.
it's not, Eddie.
Of its year, it was probably like number 1. Honestly,
Yeah.
Let's see. I don't know. I don't remember. That was like 4 years ago? Yeah, 4 years ago. Well, 3 years ago now.
Yeah.
Anyway, Daredevil. We were talking about Daredevil.
Daredevil
It was
season
good.
3. Cool.
I'm sure you'll get more into it whenever we get to
Yeah,
your
well,
one, but,
we'll just do that.
What's your number 3?
Wait for me to gush. My number 3 is The Good Place.
Okay. All right.
I did not expect to like it nearly as much as I have. I actually don't know where the current season's up to. They're on season 3 right now. I just don't know what episode they're on, or if they finished. They might have finished. I don't remember. I haven't finished it, but I've finished seasons 1 and 2, and yeah, it's good. It's real good. It's so funny, and the characters are so endearing to me. Like I relate with them, or I just like waiting to see what they're gonna say. And it's such a fun concept. I like watching. Have you watched any of it?
It's on my list. I haven't watched it yet.
Okay. Well, then I won't spoil anything for you. But I love watching certain characters make really big strides and changes, and I'm just like, that's so neat to see. And then others are just so freaking dumb but funny. I feel similar to it as I do to like Parks and Rec.
I've heard that comparison from a few people.
Yes.
Actually.
Not that they're similar shows, just that like
The comedy in it.
yeah, I can watch them and laugh at them in the same way, and I feel connected to the characters and invested in what's going on in the same way. I think I like Parks and Rec more, but if The Good Place hangs around for a while and gets a couple more good seasons under its belt, it will be a good comparison title and a good challenger to that in my heart. I feel it's a very good show, very fun. Watch it if you have not. I think the first 2 are on Netflix, and then the third one you can get probably on Hulu. But I know you can get it on whatever channel that is, their streaming service. That's how I was watching some of it, but it's like a week later, and it's got the same.
I have my sources.
The same ad like 6 times. Well, for all those out there who are not like you, I just thought I'd give them their info.
No, it's fine. Understandable.
What's your number 2, Eddie?
Number 2 is Better Call Saul, season 4.
I didn't know that was still running.
Yeah.
How much can they?
For
Isn't
some
that a
reason,
prequel? Like, how much can they do?
Better Call Saul is a prequel. It's surprisingly a lot. Like, there's so much to this character that they've made, that they've written. It's incredible.
Yeah.
Because it's so
for those
good.
unaware, it's a prequel to Breaking Bad for
right.
a character called Saul.
For a side character.
Side character,
At
yes.
that. Like, he wasn't even like a big part of Breaking Bad, but he was so likable in the series that they made a spin-off series. And it's the same writers and stuff, so it's so good. It's crazy how good this show is. And what's even crazier is that there's not a ton of advertisement for it, and I don't see a lot of people talking about it.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. I didn't even know it was still happening.
But, yeah, exactly. But it still gets high ratings, like viewer ratings. It's ridiculous because I don't know. It's weird. I guess it's just that draw of like Breaking Bad stuff, but.
Yeah, probably so. I imagine everyone who was hooked on Breaking Bad getting their fix through this.
Oh yeah, it's so good. Like it's crazy. And it's like these writers have such a and not just the writers, the cinematography and stuff too. There's so many areas that they make such tense moments from, like just walking down a street. So in the beginning of each like season and some of the episodes within. If you don't know the story of Breaking Bad, Better Call Saul, or Saul Goodman, his name, he has to go into hiding. Like he gets his like a different social security number, a different face, because things obviously go wrong in the meth world, and he skips town, and we see like little shots of him like in his current life, in a sort of a sequel way of his new life, like working at like Cinnabon and stuff like that. But he can't obviously
so that's post Breaking
Bad, right?
Okay.
That's part of his new life, and he has to keep low. You know, he can't be out and about doing his lawyer thing. But it's just like there's like maybe a 5-minute scene in the first episode of the latest season that's just so incredibly tense. Because he's walking down a street at night, and there's a car that's kind of like going slow in the neighborhood, and like he keeps looking back at it, and like there's this like slow, creepy music in the background, and then like this goes on for like 5 minutes, and then nothing happens, and it's like, what the crap? And there's like a ton of those in here. Like there's so many like weird like scenes and stuff that just make you like tense up, and it's like, oh god, what's gonna happen? And then nothing comes of it, and it's not not an unsatisfactory thing. It's like a whew, nothing happened, you know. It's crazy what these writers can do with this show. And of course that's just a few scenes. Like the story is great too, like going about Saul Goodman's life, or Jimmy McGill, that's his real name. He just lost his brother in a self-made fire because he was he had problems, mental problems, and we just go through the series seeing how Jimmy copes with that, and it's really weird because he's a crazy guy of sorts. He has these wacky ideas and things like that of how to make money, and he gets into some crazy stuff.
Yeah.
In the show. It's really good. Definitely recommend it.
Well, cool. If you like that stuff, check it out.
If you like Breaking Bad, you should definitely be watching it regardless, but
yeah,
it's really good. What about
Excellent.
you, Ethan?
My number 2 is going to be The Chilling Adventures of Sabrina.
Oh. Chilling Adventures of what?
Of Sabrina, right?
You watched it?
Yeah, I've watched all of it.
What?
I guess we haven't potted since I've watched all of it.
Wow.
So, yeah, I watched all of it.
Did you text me this? I don't think we've discussed this at all.
Well, here we go. We can discuss it now.
That's so weird.
Yes, I started it probably close to our last pod. and I may have even mentioned it on like what I was going to be nerding out to. Like
I don't know. I don't remember you saying anything.
But
about
I
this.
hadn't gotten far in it. So, but yeah, I finished it.
Maybe I'm
off
just
pod
forgetting.
at the end of no. We haven't podcasted since I finished it. So I know we haven't had a full discussion of it since then. I don't know. Maybe it's worthy of a review. I don't know. I think it is. I think it's great.
I think so too. I think it's great too.
I loved this. I watched a bit of the like Sabrina like sitcom when I was younger. I was aware that this was going to be different going into it, and I was absolutely for it. I love the aesthetic. I like witches and demons. Like I love that, playing around in that world.
The aesthetic and stuff.
Yes, the aesthetic, the rules, and the different things of that nature, and doing it in a less of a horror way and more of a like adventure way. I really, really like that. So this was right up my alley. This was right for me from the get-go, and I really like it. I love how strong she is. Mm-hmm. I love all the like, just like how commonly and casually they just talk about Satan. It's just so funny to me.
Yeah, no, it's definitely like
it's funny to see it in such a like actual like religious way, but in a religious way that we think of like a Southern church way, and that like it's a community, it's a culture. Yes, it's a way of life, but it's also just like, oh, this is the thing we do every year around this time because this is what our church does.
Yeah, I do like that aspect. Like,
yes.
It's a church, and like these are church people, mm-hmm. and how you would see a church family, mm-hmm. but it's the Church of Satan. yes.
It's so clever to me in that respect. And
I never really thought about it like that, actually, but that's a really good point, and that's probably one of the reasons I like it so much.
Yeah. And it's just I like walk around just like casually like, oh, hail Satan, praise Satan,
Satan help us.
Pray to Satan. That works out alright. I'm like, wow, this is intense. Like this is
it's so silly. I agree.
It's very, very over the top and funny, but I like that a lot. I like the bits of horror in it because, like, again, I'm a scaredy cat and I'm not a huge fan of horror, but I like horrific elements to action and adventure, and I feel like there were just enough in here for me to still have a good time with it and not be scared. But yeah, there were really cool moments. I just like that Sabrina, and I like that Sabrina. I've talked about how I like the little structure and the religious structure they have, and I like that Sabrina challenges it. I'm a sucker for a school where you learn how to do magic, and they have that. And I'm like, yeah, let's go, let's do this.
Did you get like hardcore Hermione vibes from Sabrina?
Yeah, a bit.
Yeah.
I
found a picture of like Hermione like during like the fourth year or third year, Goblet of Fire, fourth year. Like their hairdo is like almost completely similar, and it's and she's kind of a know-it-all. Like she definitely like has an air of how to get things done, even if like she's looking for like novel books or something, or like spell books, spells for things like that. It's like she has that intuition, and I like that. I don't mind that because our culture, wow, our generation grew up on Harry Potter, and I think that was a really good connection to make with Hermione being the focal point of Sabrina if they went that way, because it really seems like they did. It really she feels Hermione-ish.
Yeah, I'd agree with like one major difference being that like Hermione is very bookish, understands things, knows things, is kind of no nonsense, very good witch, but she also has this like ingrained respect for authority and rules.
That's also true, and
Sabrina doesn't. And I think that's like the perfect thing to pull off of Hermione to make her character that much more interesting. And so like Sabrina is that like rebel Hermione that I love. I'm super down for it. Liked it a lot. I like the addition of other characters, other friends, around her that are having these spooky things happen to them, and learning about like curses or family history that's intertwined with all these witches and things. I love that they're mixing all of that in and giving people a reason to connect to one another. It's very, very cool. But yeah, great show. It is my number 2. Yeah. Number 1.
Haunting of Hill House.
Excellent.
We did a whole series on that.
Yeah,
not a series, a whole podcast. Yeah, that word. It was really good. Like
this is another one that Ethan did not watch, but that the other members of our podcast did.
Yeah, it was. It's definitely a horror series, and it's definitely spooky in some parts, but it was really good. Like it wasn't campy or super over the top. I mean, it was somewhat over the top. You got to be with horror, but it was really good. I enjoyed it. The spooks weren't too much, and I think you'd be okay with, like, there's like maybe 2 or 3 jump scares throughout the entire thing.
Yeah, that's what I hear. I hear it manages to be very, very spooky without being jump scary, which I think is definitely an accomplishment, and I wouldn't mind actually seeing them do that. I just haven't worked myself up to do it. I probably should watch it, to be honest, but just haven't.
I think you'd be okay with it, honestly. But I know I've been wrong about you liking things before. So.
This is true.
But in that sense, it was really good. So
excellent.
That's my number 1.
Cool beans. My number 1, as you adeptly pointed out, is Daredevil season 3. I have been waiting for this since the end of season 2 years ago, and he is easily my favorite of the Marvel Netflix group. He, in my opinion, is the best representation thereof, and I love the world he's in. I love how he acts. I love that he is a good guy night and day. He is Daredevil, and he's also lawyer Matt Murdock. And he just has this like innate, very shonen like understanding of justice and need for justice. And like he is that main character that needs justice 100% of the time and will get it. And I love the brutality in Daredevil. I love that it doesn't really get too old for me. A little bit of season 2 gets kind of samey and old for a bit, but I love that he is like this overtly Catholic hero, and so we've got a hero with like this bit of religion that we just don't see in a lot of other things, and so it's like an extra facet of drama and an extra way to help display his inner conflict and help have him deal with it or not. I just love watching, and I love watching someone like really, really question themselves and their upbringing and their reality and what it is that they're going through, and then come out okay at the end, because I think that's a good and healthy thing. Like, you can question things, you can make questions, and it's really cool to see. I love watching him fight. My only problem with season 3 is that he was not the one to defeat Bullseye, and now we're probably never going to see him do that.
Yeah,
I imagine maybe they were going to save that for season 4, but 4 is not going to happen.
At least not anytime soon.
Yeah, not anytime soon, if at all. And I love the casting. Charlie Cox is so good. Haven't seen him do anything since Stardust. I mean, he probably has done things. I just haven't seen anything since Stardust. When I made that connection, when I realized that's who he was, I was like, holy crap.
Wait, who was he in Stardust?
He's the main character in Stardust. He's the main male in Stardust in that movie.
What does he play in Daredevil?
That is Daredevil. He is Charlie Cox.
Oh my god. Holy crap.
That's him. Look it up.
Holy crap, you're right.
Yeah.
Wow.
Isn't that nuts?
Yeah, what the crap? That's okay. Well. Yep. Now I might have to go back and watch Stardust.
Yeah, that's how I feel. Like, man.
Because I love Stardust.
Yeah, I liked it a lot too when I saw it. I just haven't seen it in years. But anyways, Great show. Also, the thing I like about him is that I like basically all of his supporting cast, which I cannot say, I think, for any of the other Marvel Netflix series, except maybe Jessica Jones, wherein I like everyone but Jessica Jones. Yeah. I think that's the case. Mm-hmm. Luke Cage is introduced in her series. I like Luke Cage. Mm-hmm. I liked him in that series. Then he got real boring. And then I like the like lawyer chick. What is their relation in Jessica Jones? Jessica with H Money.
They had sex a bit.
Is that? But no. But there's other like. Is that the only thing? Doesn't she bring her work at some point?
You mean Jake? You're talking about Luke Cage, right?
No, not Luke Cage.
Oh.
The lawyer lady.
Oh. I think Luke Cage is what connects them. I think they meet that way, and they have to. I don't know. I don't remember.
No, like I know it's separate from Luke. Like I think she was a client, maybe. I think the lawyer lady maybe has hired Homegirl at times to like acquire evidence or something like that. They're connected in some kind of business way, from what I understand.
Yeah, I think she's gone on a few detective jobs for her. I had to like picture who you were talking about in my mind.
Right.
Like
anyway, I like her.
Yeah, the crazy looking librarian lady lawyer. Yeah. No, Jessica did a few detective jobs for her. I think, and charged out the ass for it.
I like her. I like Homeboy that is eventually like her like unwanted assistant. I don't remember his name. I wish I remembered his name. But yeah, he's cool. He's funny. Yeah, that's generally how it is. But anyway, back to Daredevil. I love pretty much all of his sort of supporting cast. I like Foggy a lot. I like how Foggy has grown as well. I enjoy their relationship. I like Homegirl, whose name Karen. Whew.
Karen.
I always want to call her Felicity, but that's the blonde from Arrow, and I'm just like, oh, I shouldn't mix those up. Anyways, Karen's great. I love Kingpin so much. Yeah, he's such a good bad guy. Gosh, I think. And again, I haven't watched much of Jessica Jones, but I think the only one that you could probably compare to him as far as like really being a villain is Purple Man. All the other villains have felt very meh to me in all the other series, except kind of. So like this is my problem with Luke Cage. At the moment where I really started to like Cottonmouth, they just killed him, and I was like, come on.
Yeah, that was a bit weird.
Like
they could have definitely did the whole series on
just him and not done any Diamondback because he was so stupid. Anyway, now we're getting into my problems. I love Daredevil. It's great when Bullseye came in. That their first fight is so dope. I wish their second fight had gone better for Daredevil, but it was still cool to see him put on the ropes and beat the mess out of him sometimes. The dynamic between Daredevil and Kingpin is so great. It's so cool to see. And the thing I love in the first season is just it's so cool to see the actual lawyering part of it. See him fight crime as a lawyer as well as Daredevil. It's real good. It's such a great secret identity, I think. To add drama and perspective to a superhero show, which is another reason why I really like Black Lightning, because the show on CW, his alternate identity is a principal of a school, which I feel is another place where he can be of good use to his community. You know what I mean?
Yep, absolutely.
Yes, just good calls all around. Season 2 of that came out this year, right? Have you watched any of that?
Mm-hmm. I finished it.
I have not watched any of it yet.
It's very good. Aside from the conversation we had with Mr. Scott. But that was a mess.
Love you, Scott.
Love you, Scott. Hope you're having fun in Italy.
Yeah.
No, it's fine though. I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
It's I think it's got good messages. So
Yeah.
if you haven't seen that, that's a good honorable mention.
Yes, I would agree. Even though I
Definitely
haven't seen
Black
the second
Lightning.
season, but the first one to me I watched this year, so this first one's my good honorable mention. I don't know
You
if
should
I
watch
have.
the second one too.
Do I have other honorable mentions? Oh yeah, Queer Eye. I watched a lot of Queer Eye this year.
Really?
I watched all of it. It's great. I
Interesting.
love that show so much.
I haven't seen it actually. I haven't seen any of Queer Eye.
Oh, you should watch it. It's real good. It's
So
really,
I hear.
It's
I
fun.
have quite a few people.
It'll get you in the feels. Got me in the feels every episode, Eddie. I'm like, And they released like the 2 seasons back to back, and they were like, all right, we'll see you in a year or 2. And we were like, what? But we should have the new season this spring. So, but it was super fun. I don't know if I've watched much any other like actual television. This year I got into The Magicians. Season 3 came out this year, I think, which is available on Netflix. I'm just going to go ahead and call it an honorable mention, even though I haven't read it yet or watched it yet.
I've heard some weird things about it.
Oh, there are very strange things in it. Like it's very I don't think it's like broadly appealing. But again, for me, it's that hey, magic is real and we have a secret school where you can learn it. Only it's college and stuff is a lot more mature and weird than what you're used to at Hogwarts. So I just there's also a bit of like so it's like a mature Hogwarts or a mature Harry Potter and a mature Narnia. It's like if you take those two things and just pump up the maturity level, that's where we're at with that, and it is nuts. They cover some very dark themes, and it's good. I like it a lot. Also, the main character is not like a chosen one, like amazingly good at everything kind of character, which is refreshing and interesting. But yeah, that's my quick honorable mention. Do you have any other honorable mentions, Eddie?
Not really, no.
Cool.
Like there's some good stuff, but we should probably speed up a bit.
What's next?
Anime.
All right.
My number 3 is Megalobox.
Ooh,
it was
fun.
Very good because it's very hard to make a good sports anime. Like I think, but for some reason, Japan's really good at that. Like really good at sports anime for some reason, or even just like cooking, or
gosh.
It's they make it fantastic. I don't know. Megalobox was really good, and it has that style of Cowboy Bebop. As I've said previously in previous podcast episodes, and was currently watching it at that time. And it was a great little story. It's 12 episodes. Great story of this kid rising up from nothing, as you do in boxing stories. And all the fighters have these special fighting gear, like they attach it to their back or their arms, and they fight with it. And it's more intense than normal boxing gloves. But he doesn't have one. He goes through the ranks without using.
What a twist.
Gears, as they're called.
He's a natural.
He is, and he makes it pretty hard to the top, so it was good. I enjoyed it.
That's awesome.
What's your number 3?
My number 3 is probably Voltron. Yeah.
Probably.
I'll say Voltron. I think 7 and 8 came out in 2018. I could be wrong. It might have just been 8 and 17. 7 may have come out at the end of 2017. But I think it was actually 7 and 8 that came out this year. Really great show. I love it's from Studio Mir, which is behind Avatar, Last Airbender, and Korra, and 1 season of the Boondocks. They always list that as another like an accolade on top of like Avatar, Korra, Boondocks. I'm like, I think the first.
I mean, it was a great show as well.
It is, but I don't feel like there's too much overlap.
No, it's definitely like completely different too. But, like those two cartoon animes couldn't be any more different. But
Very different in theme and tone.
still great.
But it's cool. That's a studio out of Korea. They're very good at what they do. Their aesthetic is awesome. The story is great. I think it's an excellent, one of the really, really good reboots or remakes of something from the 80s or something old. It looks good. I love the characters. It's got some super cheesy and corny moments. I will give it that.
Yeah, that's like one of my bigger complaints with it. It's like those moments
Yes.
are like not only are they cheesy, they're so out of place. It feels like
Yes,
sometimes.
because they're definitely. It's like if the show was sentient and then it just randomly remembered that it was supposed to be for kids for a second,
Yeah.
and it was like, oh, here, have
Funny
this joke.
thing, ha ha
Yes,
ha.
ha 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 ha, and
Yeah,
then
jokes.
and then you watch someone die, and you're like, well, who is
Yeah.
this for?
And that's a plus I'll give it. It's like it's the serious like areas are really good.
Yes.
I really enjoy the tension and the when they're all stranded like out in space. I was like, holy crap, this is it's pretty intense.
Stuff gets intense. Wait, the end of season 2 is so gnarly to me. I'm excited for you to experience that.
I'll get to it. I was thinking, I was like, one thing that could have made Voltron like 3 times better for me is if they kept a tiger face on Voltron as opposed to like shifting to a random human face.
Oh, the humanoid face?
And I know that's like from the 80s, but it's like that's still like just keep it a tiger. Why is it got to be a human face? Just it's a big giant tiger man. Come on.
Because the lines form the man of Voltron.
Just keep it a tiger. Why is the like just stop before the visor comes up. Just stop. Keep it right there. It's fine. Just be the tiger face. It's fine.
I think it looks good, and it's probably more broadly appealing than the tiger face. But again, I think all around it's a really good adaptation of what that was, and a much better storyline and explanation. Characters have more like believable and real backgrounds. There are real stakes, and aside from the goofy moments, there are plenty of really serious ones. There's some real good fights. It's just good. It's real good. It's real good.
Agreed.
Watch it. Number two.
That time I got reincarnated as a slime.
See, I wish I could put this on my list, but I haven't freaking seen it.
Have you seen it yet? Oh, yeah.
No. Everyone's like, it's so good. And I'm like, I believe you. I just, I want to see that.
I just started it like last month, and I'm like, why haven't I started this sooner? So I watched like the first season and a half of Overlord, and it was overbearing, like as crap. I don't know why. It was weird. It was okay. Like I didn't finish it, but
right, because I've heard good things about that too. But you were less impressed.
It tapered off so hard. Like the middle of season 2 was just like it crashed completely for me. I didn't really pick it back up after that.
Like mid-season SAO.
Yeah, it was just so
SAO.
boring. Like I don't know why.
Gotcha.
I couldn't really put my finger on it. But anyway,
maybe I ran out of light novels.
Yeah, maybe. But the slime anime is like so good, and I usually don't like Mary Sue characters, but the main character is super Mary Sue. But it's a charming. The main character is charming, and
you seem that way.
He's learning.
Disclaimer: I've read, I think, the first 1 or 2 chapters of the manga.
He's exploring his abilities more like through this first half of what I've seen.
Yes.
But after that, like now that he's got like an established army of like hobgoblins and ogres or orcs or whatever they are,
right.
It's really good. Like you come to accept this, and like he hasn't struggled yet, and I'm kind of waiting for that point to come, because he's already faced like a demon lord in the anime, and the demon lords are supposed to be like the top, you know.
Yeah.
But like I know in the opening, like he's fighting against someone, and it's very obvious that they're putting up a good fight. So I'm kind of waiting for that. There's got to be a point in which he's like, "Oh crap, I can't actually, go up against this person or this thing."
And I it's just so when you say like you dislike Mary Sue's, and I think a lot of people do, that makes One Punch Man even more impressive to me. Because I haven't met a soul who doesn't like One Punch Man, and he is that. It's so funny.
Like you have a character like Kirito, which who granted like many people like Sword Art Online, to the point like it's become a meme to hate on it. But Kirito's okay, and he's definitely a Mary Sue character. And actually, I one of my honorable mentions would be Alicization, which is the newest Sword Art.
I think some of the things that like we're gonna tangent again, but like I think one of the issues with Kirito is that he's obviously supposed to be like a self-insertion Mary Sue, and then there are some characters that aren't necessarily self-insertion Mary Sues. Like I don't think Saitama really is a self-insertion. Like you're not supposed to want to be Saitama, but it's fun to watch him do his thing.
It's fun. It's and that's mindless fun. It's really good.
Yes,
like, they're not really trying to make a huge story about it. Like, well, they might in season 2. I don't actually know anything past the first season of the anime, but
it's just it's funny.
It's nice to watch. It's a good escape.
It's funny to me, like the thin line that Mary Sues sit on, and like, because like one of the biggest Mary Sues ever is definitely Goku, and that is one of the best selling animes of all freaking time. Like,
and people will say they don't like Mary Sue's, but I mean, there's so many.
That's what I mean. Like I've listened to people complain about Kirito, and I'm like, this sounds like Goku. Like a lot of things you're saying about Kirito, you could say about Goku, and Dragon Ball Z is fine.
Toriyama's so bad at that too, because there's so many Goku characters as well.
He just wanted to make sure that every person at a different time in their life could have a Mary Sue to insert themselves in Dragon Ball Z. Anyways,
I'm Goku. Hi, it's me, Goku. Anyway, so number 1.
Yeah.
Oh, well, Slime's really good. Watch.
Slime.
Have I been that time I was reincarnated by a slime as a slime.
My number 2, which I experienced through manga form, is that the hero one, Boku no Hero, My Hero.
Oh yeah, My Hero Academia.
Yes.
I was gonna put that, but I was like, meh, that's so much of an easy grade.
I have limited options, so it's my number 2.
I mean, we put like 4 episodes on My Hero now. At this point,
what?
I said we've put out like 4 episodes.
We have. Absolutely, we have. It's good. It's worthy of it. I think it's worthy of a lot of the praise that it's getting. It's most people know what it is, so I won't spend a lot of time on it. It's good. It's a high school for superheroes where most people have superpowers at this point, and our main character starts off without one, and now he has one, and it's great. And the key thing is watching people deal with their powers and deal with their emotional states, being kids with powers, and it's great. It's fun to watch. It's good. It makes you feel for all the characters individually, except for the pervert. And yeah, it's good. It's
really good. It is.
It's worth your time.
I agree with that.
Yeah, if you have not, you should. On to number 1.
Number 1. JoJo Part 5. Wow.
Oh, yeah, that's true. I should have known that. What a surprise.
Good, Ethan. It's so good. I love JoJo so much.
I'm certain
ridiculous. Like, one of the best things about JoJo that I've thought about is there are a lot of antagonists in this show. Like, there might be one every 2 episodes. And they make these antagonists so interesting that we don't need like a huge involved backstory about these characters. Like you understand them, what their goal is, and then they get beaten by the JoJos.
There you go.
And that's all you really need. Like and the JoJos, are put up quite a bit of fight. Like sometimes they get beaten like really hard, and it's hard to see. It's hard to say if someone will die or not because there have been a few main characters that have died in these
That's crazy.
episodes. So it's nerve-wracking because you know it could happen, but at the same time, it's like you want to see a good fight, and there's always good fights. And the way that some of these stands work, which are the special powers they have, that have like this special ability that might do something, is sometimes crazy because there's like asterisks to each power. Like this can work in this way. This might have a weakness on this area or something like that, and they have to find a way to around that and to react to it and stuff like that. It's so good. Like it's crazy.
Yeah, that's cool.
Like this most recent episode, like it ages. The enemy stand aged the some of the JoJo characters really fast to the point they're like wilting.
Like the Time Wizard.
Yeah, but the people like they're in hiding at the moment.
Okay.
And like this guy is attacking this train like unabashedly. Like he's just attacking everyone because he can't find them.
What's wrong with the train?
So like right, there's people on it and they are also wilting. But he's going through the train looking for body temperatures, and he's looking for a woman, and women have a lower body temperature than men do. So he's aging all the men so he can find the woman and such. And it's like
interesting.
They have to find a way, and they they had just drank like cold drinks, so some of them aren't aging as fast as the others. And it's like, oh, it's so crazy. Like, and it's like little things like that that just make me love this show. It's the little workarounds and stuff. It's great.
That's funny. That's cool. I like that idea of like just having a villain that's easy to understand who gets a couple episodes and then he's taken out.
Yeah.
I feel like some Marvel Netflix series could learn from that.
Or, some other animes like Naruto.
Maybe so, but
I mean,
Naruto
even
wasn't
One
going to
Piece.
win. Like, no. Like, I've just accepted that, like, really popular anime aren't going to learn anything. Because if they're making money, they're just going to keep doing whatever it is that they're doing.
Yeah, absolutely.
But anyways.
What's your number one?
My number one is Castlevania.
Oh my god.
Oh my
Is it
gosh.
really that good for you, Ethan?
Look, again, my pool is small. Like,
No, I know. I'm just
I
kidding.
put a manga on this list.
I would totally
for me.
put that on there as well. Like that would probably be like my number 3 if Megalobox wasn't on there.
Yeah. Castlevania was really good. It was a joy to watch. The animation's super dope. The fights are really cool. I had like my main complaint with it was there was like a few episodes that were slow because the main characters were just hanging out in a library. But it was kind of necessary to set up all the villains. We know we're getting to season 3, which is great. I think it's a triumph of American-made anime. And gosh, it's probably the best video game adaptation in existence.
Yeah, agreed.
It's good. So yeah, it's if you haven't seen it, go watch it. The first 2 seasons are on Netflix, and it's only like 12 episodes total. So it's certainly worth your time. It's excellent. It's a very, very good time. Watch it, enjoy it. The monsters are cool. I'm also a sucker for vampires, I guess. Maybe not as much anymore as I was when I was younger, but it's still just cool to me. I like the idea of half-blood, like half-breed vampires. Like Blade's really cool to me. Alucard in this is that, and he's fun. He's cool. It's a good time. The character interactions between Trevor Belmont and Alucard are gold. They're so good. There's some other comedy that falls flat, but the two of them interacting is always a good time. Yeah, that's my number one. Watch
Definitely good. Finally,
All right, the big one.
we're going for video games.
Video games.
Oh my god.
Okay,
And
this one
I'm
I
gonna
have
kick us
more
off.
input on. Yes, please.
I'm going to kick us off with number 3, and I'm going to shake it up.
Please.
My number 3 is Dragalia Lost.
No, have you been playing that?
I have been playing the crap out of that, and I've bought already like $70 worth of stuff in this game. Don't judge me.
My list is going to be ridiculous just because I haven't played anyone else's top 5 games of this year. So
yeah. Well, yeah. Also, same. I like God of War and stuff, like Red Dead Redemption 2. I haven't played any of those, and I know those are like extremely
want to,
good.
but have not.
Right. I don't have the means to play those yet. But Dragalia Lost is a mobile game from Nintendo. And Cygames. Cygames made Grand Blue Fantasy, which has been on the market for a long time. It's been out since 2014. Yeah. So basically, it's a new IP. It's completely original, and you follow Yuden. His name is, but it takes your name, but his actual name is Yuden, and he gets basically outed from his kingdom of like 7 brothers and a sister, because the sister gets possessed by this darkness, and she becomes like the queen of that kingdom, and Yuden goes and starts his own kingdom as like screw you.
That's what you do.
Right. And it's a gacha game, so you roll for units and stuff that you can put on your team.
And then you pay money.
Yeah, you can. You can pay money if you
Yes.
want to for extra pools and stuff, and that's gacha for you. But it's really fun. It's not like a turn-based thing like most gacha games are. It's actually like real-time movement. Like if you move your character around on the screen.
Oh yeah, walk around, hack and slash kind of RPG.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly what it is. It's a hack and slash game, and it's really fun. And there's co-op, and the co-op is seamless.
Really,
it's ridiculous how good the co-op is in this game.
That is cool. That's definitely a mark of importance or mark of valor. That's really sweet.
And like every once every month, like for 2 weeks, there are events, and one of the events is a raid, and you can take an entire team with 3 other people's entire teams and kill the boss and stuff like that. And that's
seamless.
It's seamless. Like
that's crazy.
There's barely any connection problems or anything, which is the biggest like wow factor for me, because like usually these games would have lag or connection problems of actually getting into rooms and stuff. No, they work.
Well, this is a Nintendo property, right?
Yeah.
It's a Nintendo property.
So we could probably be seeing like a game for the Switch come out, or an anime. I think they're even in talks with like Ufotable or whatever his name is.
Ufotable, yeah.
That made Fate Zero and like Unlimited Blade Works to make an anime of it.
That's cool.
And there's already a manga out coming, so it's crazy.
Excellent.
Like it's really successful so far. It's like number 3 of the Nintendo mobile properties, or no, number 2. It's under Fire Emblem, Fire Emblem Heroes, which is also a gacha game, of course. But
excellent.
It's like trailing behind that just barely, so, which is impressive for a new IP. You know? So it's very good. It's free.
That's cool.
You don't have to pay for anything. If
That's
you
true.
want.
It is free. I remember seeing that.
You should definitely try it. It's just the only thing. It's like it's really big. It's like it takes up so much space in the phone. So, but at this point, it's like that's not too much of a problem. It's like 2 to 3 gigabytes of space, which is crazy for a game on the phone. But it's really good. So, what's your number 3, Ethan?
My number 3 is Smash Bros. Ultimate.
Oh, the obvious choice.
Look at it.
I'm just kidding. I actually had that on my list, and then I was like, no, I'm going to change it up a bit.
It's fine. It's good. It's fun. We'll probably review it more in detail in another episode, but it is a good time. I like Smash Brothers. I've never been like super great at it, but I'm all right. It's a game that I don't mind losing at, and that makes it even better when I do win. So it's just a lot of fun, and it's to me it's connected. It's a game that's connected with the idea of getting my friends together and sitting down on a couch and playing a game together, which it just doesn't happen anymore. Like this is the only game that I think consistently that occurs with. at least in my life.
Yeah.
Whereas video games, multiplayer video games used to only be that way. Like you had to have a friend close by because you were a kid and you had to be able to go to their house and play games with them. But that experience is different now because of the internet. And so it's good. I'm glad that it's back. I'm glad that we have this new one. I'm glad that they put freaking everything in it. That's so cool to me. It's great that there's always something to do. The spirits thing is fun. And it's like seemingly endless. So even if I don't have friends to play with, I can go do that. It's interesting. It makes me think. I like the collecting of the spirits and things of that nature and thinking about how to give myself the best advantage. Something I've learned recently, that's that if I'm just not good enough to fight my enemy, I can just be Donkey Kong I can be Donkey Kong with super armor and just down B until they die. It's great. It's a pretty good time.
But yeah, it was pretty fun. I'll admit to that. Like the solo game is really fun.
It's good. I noticed where it lost a bit of interest for me is when I finally got everyone, unlocked all the characters. I mean, and at that point, there was no more like surprises left in the game for me. So I was just kind of like,
yeah. There's no like stage unlocking, which is interesting.
Like,
the stages are there.
It's just and so there are no surprises here, and after you unlocked everyone, the most you can do is get better by going online and getting beaten by a lot of people, which I could do. But once I unlocked everyone, I played Spirits for a little while longer, and then I just picked up a game that I hadn't played in a while, and now I'm stuck right into that, and that'll show up on my list later. So, that's my number 3.
Number 3 is good. Mm-hmm. My number 2 is Bayonetta. And I can say this because it just came out for the Switch this year. So Bayonetta 2 did. Both 2 did. But,
right. 2 and you get 1 with it. When does 3 come out? Is that this year?
Supposedly. There's no like strict release date, but people are expecting it to be this year because it's about time.
Yeah.
It's about that time. It's really fun. Having played Devil May Cry, which is by the same director as Bayonetta. It's very similar. It like the gameplay is very similar. The monster designs are amazing. Like they're angels, but they're so freaky looking and things like that.
Cool.
But I shouldn't have waited so long to play this game.
Okay, I was just about to ask if you'd played the original versions of these games, but this is the first time you've played them?
This is the first one.
This is the first time you played them on the Switch?
Yeah.
This is the first time at all?
Gotcha. I don't know anything about Bayonetta, aside from what was in Smash.
Gotcha.
And she's a great character. I love her.
Cool.
She's very sexual, of course, but she is such a badass that it doesn't really matter because she's just great. I love her so much. She's so sassy. Yeah. And like I love her so much.
I think that's what I like out of a character who is very fan servicey or sexualized. It's like as long as you are useful and independent and sort of your own actual character outside of the fact that you have boobs, I can tolerate you.
Yeah. She's so extra and it's great. I love it so much.
Yeah, that's cool. Awesome. Good choice. My number 2 is Moonlighter.
Oh my god.
Moonlighter's so fun. Have you played any of this, Eddie?
No.
Okay. I want you to play some of it while we're at PAX.
Okay.
It's super good. It's essentially if like imagine you're playing an old school Zelda, and you're Link and you're walking about, but every time you defeat a dungeon, you have to go set up shop and sell all of the stuff that you got off of those monsters. And that's essentially Moonlighter. So Moonlighter, you run a shop in town where you sell things. You sell primarily loot and other things that you'll get off monsters. And as you go through the game, the way you get your loot is at night, you moonlight as a dungeon diver. You go in, and there are 5 dungeons outside of town, on the outskirts of town. Only one of them is open at first, and like as you progress through them, you get keys and you unlock other dungeons. Your goal being to unlock the final dungeon. The dungeons are procedurally generated, so they're different every time. but there are like certain hints and clues that will lead you to the next floor. There are 4 floors. The first 3 floors are just floors of rooms where you go in and you fight stuff. And then the final floor is the boss, which has reminded me a lot of... Did you ever play any of the Dot Hack games?
I did not play the games, no. I watched the anime, but
Gotcha.
I didn't play the games.
Anime's cool. Games are really good. I can speak for the first 4 lines of games. I haven't played any of the other ones. So the ones associated with Dot Hack Sign, Dot Hack Infection, Mutation, Outbreak, and Quarantine. The way you... In that game, you're simulating an MMO called The World, and the way that you go to dungeons there is by... scrolling through and collecting different words. So like you pick a first word, a second word, and a third word, and that those combinations of words establish the like difficulty of the dungeon, where the dungeon spawns, and like you're exploring it every time. You're exploring a new dungeon every time. It's really, really cool. Playing this game has kind of made me want to go back and play those games, which I might do. But
super expensive though.
Yeah, it would be very expensive unless there's like a remake on the Vita or PSP. I don't know.
Maybe. Doubtful,
but anyway, I have Infection though, so I can play Infection at the very least. Anyways, so procedurally generated. You fight through them, you collect loots, but you have to be careful. So like a lot of this game is they make sort of a game out of inventory management, which is it's funner than it sounds. It's more interesting than it sounds, because like certain things can only be carried a certain way, or like if you take too many hits they'll die, or they'll get destroyed in your bag, or some of them have to be on the edge of your bag or the bottom of your bag or the top, and some of them will destroy other things if you don't place them right. It's really, really fun, and it's a trick to figure that out, and eventually your bag fills up. And it can fill up very quickly before you're even done with the dungeon. So you have to make decisions as to what you're going to keep, what you're not going to keep. There are some ways that you can like give yourself a portal to come back to the same spot in the dungeon, but that costs gold. Like just about everything you do costs gold. You don't level up, but you can get better gear, and that's how you make yourself better for the later dungeons. It's really fun and really, really cool. And you can upgrade your town. You can invite other like merchants there. And so like you're working to upgrade your store and the town that you're in, and you're also working to uncover a bit of the mystery in the dungeons, what's been going on in there. I think your dad may have been lost to the dungeons, perhaps your grandfather as well, and so you're working to figure out what's been going on in here, why they're different every time, because like the people are aware that the dungeons are different, that they're for us they're procedurally generated. Because anytime anyone goes into the dungeon, it's different than the last time, and they're aware of that, and they're like, what is happening? It's so crazy. And so you pick up little notes while you're walking through of like people who have been like explorers who have been in there and been writing down notes but have gone missing, and you find their notebooks and read things. And it's cool. It's fun. It's neat. It's a good time. My number 2, Moonlighter. That's what I've gotten back into. I picked it back up after, because I dropped it for Pokemon, and then I finished Pokemon. I don't think I did anything else until Smash came out, and that was mostly Smash with one exception, which will be one of my honorable mentions. But yeah, Moonlight is great.
Well, my number 1 is gonna be a demo, actually.
Oh my gosh, it's
Deltarune.
Yeah, it
is. It's a demo, of course, and whenever the full game is released, whenever it will likely be, probably one of my favorite games of all time. Just from the demo alone, because the demo was that good. It's so crazy how good of a storyteller Toby Fox is. It's ridiculous. I want to know so much more about this game. It's so fun. Even like the 2 hours that it is. It's just it's I've never felt so wanting of a game just from playing the demo.
Yeah.
And it's just knowing the story of Undertale and then following with Deltarune. There's so much there that I know is going to be there that I need to know, you know?
Mm-hmm.
I want that story. I want all of it. It's so good. It expands so much of what we originally had with Undertale.
Yeah.
And the characters are just as likable to me. Not to you, of course. It's good. It's just, if you haven't played it, you should definitely play it because it's free. It's 2 hours, even if you explore everything.
Yeah.
And it's just it's a good setup for the next thing that's coming from Toby. So
Excellent. That's cool. I'm excited to see how well it does. I really am excited to see the numbers that it pulls in. Because it'll probably be mind-boggling.
This demo has apparently been in the works since Undertale was developed, and
I think that's the kind of thing that people want to hear too.
Yeah, and this is like he's done nothing except like most of the writing for this next story. Yeah. So there's still a lot for him to actually do and to get like a team, which he hasn't done yet either. Or he may have already. I don't know. Who knows? But the good thing is that he's not going to be able to get any sleep or anything until he actually puts this out, because so many people are going to be on him to actually create this. But I mean, he said he's lost sleep on like all of this, like so many days.
I'm sure he
of
would
like wanting to
like
for people.
Following up something that you've made millions of dollars with, like and that you poured so much of your heart and time into. I can only imagine. I can only imagine how he would feel. And again, I wasn't a huge fan of Undertale, but it's an example of a property that like hit its core demographic and fan base really hard.
So hard,
like crushed it. And like it reminds me in a way of like Scott Pilgrim, or even the Spider-Verse movie right now. How like the people who it was aimed at are so far on board that they will give you money for anything at this point. And it's whew. Anyways, I'm sure it will be great. It'll be fun to watch it unfold, and I'm sure you will hear about it on this podcast.
Oh, you will. Oh, you will. You'll hear all of the Toby Fox movements from this guy, right?
All right.
But that's my number one. What's your number one,
excellent.
Ethan?
My number one is going to upset Eddie. My number one is Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu.
I'm so upset.
I named that because of all the games I purchased this year, none of them brought me more like joy or put a bigger smile on my face than this game at any point when I from the moment of purchase to opening the freaking box it came in, like opening the case. There's you open the case and the inside is an illustrated map of the Kanto region, and I'm like, gosh, like this game is another game that's aimed at the hearts of anyone nostalgic for those old Pokemon games for Yellow and things. Anyone who doesn't mind playing them again, unlike Eddie.
Correct.
And they crushed it. I despite the problems we've mentioned about it before, despite the handholdiness, I genuinely enjoyed it, and it got me and still has me so unbelievably hyped for the next Pokemon game. It feels diabolical how
if they do gold and silver, I will probably get that.
Yes, immediately. Gold was my first game, so yes, that would I will own 3 versions of gold at that point.
I expect them to do that between
yes,
Gen 8 and Gen 9.
I'd agree.
Gen 9, and that's fine. People are actually like really chomping at the bits for a DPP remake, but I don't know if they're gonna get it this rate.
I don't really.
Nintendo's just gonna go back and remake the other ones.
What's that DPP?
Diamond, Pearl, Platinum.
Oh yeah, no, I don't care about that.
Yeah,
no
well,
one,
a lot of people do.
I think I've said this before. I think that was a very large intro for a lot of people, and that's why people like that game. But like for anyone who was big fans of the games prior to it to play that, I feel like it was just kind of a letdown.
Yeah, no, it is definitely a disappointment in many areas.
Yeah,
but it's still
yeah.
People want it.
Yeah,
I've seen so many people say that well, Mega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire. Now we need the next one, please.
Yeah,
but
Let's Go Pikachu wasn't a disappointment in any way, and no, it was, and despite its flaws, I still had so much fun. Like I was so into it. I felt like 10-year-old Ethan again, finding Pokemon for the first time, and crap, that's hard to do. I guess it It was good. It was really good. Seeing the Pokemon in this manner for the first time, really well done. Ugh.
You know, I mean, it has its merits. Like I
Yes.
know that people love this game, and
Yeah.
and
Again,
it's fine, but-
I'm, and it's got me hyped on the next one because I'm assuming and hoping they will take the best parts of this and move forward with that and reintroduce some of the older things that we're used to and that we want, like battles, or like random battles in outside of Pokemon trainer battles. So I yes, this so many facets of it were such big strides. I feel, despite a couple of the backward steps. That I'm really, really excited for the next one. So yeah, that one got my hype train the highest. So that's, I think, why it's my number one.
Nice. It's a good list. Good list all around.
Good list indeed. Honorable mention, Donut County. Do you know anything about this game?
I mean, we've talked about it before.
Yeah, I played a
it's
demo.
The golfing one, huh?
No. Donut County is. You're probably thinking about What the Golf, which I do also love. Donut County is a game. I played the demo back at Glitch City earlier this year. We did an episode on that. And it's this game where you're a hole in the ground and you control it and you eat things. Like you move the holes to drop things inside of it that are on the ground, and it gets slightly bigger. So it's very Katamari-esque. So you can capable of swallowing larger and larger things. And it's hilarious. It's super fun. I love the art style. It's very simple. I really like Katamari, and I was excited for Katamari Damacy to be on the Switch. I downloaded the demo, and I tried to play it, and it controlled a whole lot more difficulty than I remember on the PlayStation. And I did that, and I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna play Donut County. So like it literally made me buy, because Donut County came out as a full game on the Switch in the past month or two. And so I did that. I bought and downloaded Donut County on my Switch, and I played it all basically in one sitting. It's a few hours long. It's not very much, but it was so satisfying and so fun. It's a definite honorable mention for me.
Nice.
Any for you, sir?
Well, for its emptiness and stuff, I actually went back to Sea of Thieves after the disappointment of Atlas.
That's right. I hadn't asked you specifically, but I've heard from other people that Atlas was terrible.
It was terrible. Oh my god, it was so
all right.
It's just why are pirate games so disappointing?
I don't know.
But going back to Sea of Thieves, Rare has actually been really good with content updates. And you know, I would have suggested just waiting for another year, but I mean the hype might have died down since then for that. But anyway, I'm not a game developer, but they've added quite a bit. Like they've added an entire new like section to the ocean. They've added a lot of PvE stuff aspects to it, like ghost ships and krakens. Well, krakens were already there, but megalodons, like huge sharks that can come up and like bite the crap out of your ship and stuff.
Scary.
Yeah, and there's just they're continually updating it, and that's really nice to see, because they're all like free. They're free DLC things for it. So I might I haven't actually played the new stuff. I've watched somebody else play it quite a bit, and it's super fun to watch. But I don't know about like actually playing it, so we'll see that. I'll go back to it eventually.
Yeah.
But just watching it is really entertaining, surprisingly.
And you play it on PC, right?
Yeah, it's a Xbox One, but I do PC. So.
Gotcha. That's cool.
That's
Fun junk.
Honorable mention.
I think our nerding out section for both of us this week is going to be PAX.
Yeah, basically. Well, AGDQ is going on right now as well. I've been watching that. It's over tomorrow.
I feel like I should know what that is. What is that?
Amazing Games Done Quick. It's
that's right. It's the charity event.
Charity.
Right?
Yeah.
Yes, I have heard of that.
It's over tonight though. So, but that's what I've been watching for the past week. I've been enjoying the game runs and stuff.
Excellent. I'm going to be playing more Moonlighter.
Wow. Yeah, I'll play it whenever we meet up next week.
But yeah, I think that about does it for this episode. Thank you all for listening. We very much appreciate it. Thanks for listening into this particularly longer episode. But we appreciate any likes, comments, and subscribes you can send our way, or for recommending it to a friend. We appreciate that. 5-star reviews on iTunes certainly do help as well. But anyway, you can find us on iTunes, on Google Podcasts, on Stitcher, CastBox, and Podbean, YouTube as well. Visit our Facebook page, give us a like, we'd love that. Yep, that's about it for us. Oh, you can also get in contact with us on email, thosenerdsyouknowpod@gmail.com. But yeah, that brings us to the end. My name is Ethan.
I'm Eddie.
And we are Those Nerds You Know. Bye.
Bye.